Isolation day 60, Sunday the 17th of May. Who'd have thought we'd have been sat at home after 60 days, 2 whole months sat at home, yes, granted working. But look, I hope you're all well and you're looking after yourselves. It's been a full week since I started the transition from keto to low-fat plant-based whole food. And what a week it's been. My initial expectations were that my blood sugars would be rising when I had carbs because I've been keto for 4 to 5 years. And what I noticed in that time was when I did have carbs, my blood sugars were going through the roof. Now, what I did do for the last week, as you've seen, is I reduced the amount of fat that I was taking with my food. And I think this has had exactly the effect that the Mastering Diabetes book describes, which is that I've become more insulin sensitive. I've therefore been able to increase my carb intake with also taking insulin, and I haven't had the big highs at all. In actual fact, which is something that they say in the book, I've had a hell of a lot of lows. And the reason I'm fine with that, I've probably done 1.5 bags of Jelly Babies in a week, which is incredible really. My basal insulin is down, my bolus insulin is down. The results, quite honestly, are dramatic. I'm going to put them together in a spreadsheet and I'll present them to you tomorrow, the first week's analysis, because there's something else I want to talk to you about tonight. But needless to say, at the moment, I'm really impressed with the fact that I'm able to eat an increasing amount of carbs without my blood sugars going high. They very rarely have been high. I mean, 7.5, I think, is the highest it's been. You know, that's incredible, apart from where I've made mistakes. So I've taken it and not taken, I've eaten and not taken the insulin, that kind of thing. What I want to show you today is, and I've been promising you for a couple of days, this Omega Quant Omega-3 index, which is my blood test that I had. Now, what I will say is I'm going to put this below, a PDF of this entire report, which is my personal blood test, my information, which is obviously very sensitive. And I say very sensitive, look, I'm putting it out there for people to see because I want to show you it now, and then I'm going to show you it in 3 months time. Okay, I'm going to get the same test done and I'm going to show you the stark difference in my readings, which I'm expecting there to be a big difference. So let me show you that. What I wanted to do first is read you a bit of background about omega-3, omega-6 and what this report is about. Omega-3 is an anti-inflammatory, whereas omega-6 is a pro-inflammatory. What the advice is that you want to decrease your intake of omega-6 and you want to increase your intake of omega-3. Now, there are ranges that people should be between, and this report actually tells you the range, but needless to say, there is a solution, a plant-based solution, which I'll go into a bit later. But let's look at this first. Desirable range for omega-3 is between 8 and 12. I'm currently 5.78. So I'm not getting enough of that anti-inflammatory. And here it does say, look, you can get a lot of this from oily fish and krill, cod liver oils, etc. And you can take the supplements to do it. Further down, there's lots of information here, but omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, desirable 3 to 1 to 5 to 1, and I'm 6.9 to 1. So I have got much more of the pro-inflammatory rather than the anti-inflammatory. And this is something that the Mastering Diabetes team explain happens a lot for people that are, I mean, there's a whole chapter in relation to keto, and this is one of the factors that they take into account. For me, and for anyone that's diabetic, anything inflammatory is not a good thing, and the reason for that is that we're already predisposed to have autoimmune issues and potential problems that could arise, hence why I didn't really have any problems breathing, didn't have any problems with my sinus, and now I do have. So that's an autoimmune deficiency and an autoimmune problem that has come about further on, many years after being diagnosed with diabetes. But look, so the first one, the omega-3 is too low, the omega-6 is too high. Okay, that's pretty much it. apart from my fat index. Now it does say my fat index report desirable less than 1%, and I'm at 0.47. So actually for trans and fatty and sort of fats, that's pretty good. But bear in mind the collection date was the 7th of May. I had been slowly reducing my fat intake over that week, and not consuming quite as much meat as I historically would do. So it might have been a little bit skewed. But look, either way, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, anything if it's desirable at less than 1, I'm at 0.47. That's pretty good. So the advice from the Mastering Diabetes team and the solution to this, to a certain extent, is obviously if you're not eating meat, you're not going to be getting so much of the inflammatory omega-6s, and all you need to do to get your omega-3s, and they don't advise to eat fish. What they advise is 1 tablespoon of flax seeds or chia seeds a day, and that will give you ample amount of omega-3s, and that's what I'm finding at the moment. So I'm pretty happy with that. As I said, I will put this information down below in a link. If there's anyone that's watching this and they know much more than me, because I don't know exactly what I'm looking at apart from the headline figures, there's a lot more information in that report. Feel free to review it. Feel free to come back to me and go, actually, you need to be aware of this, this and this, and also I'd take heed of this. Please do so, because that would be greatly appreciated. Any comments would be really appreciated. Leave a like below, and obviously subscribe if this is the first time you're watching this. Thanks very much. Have a good night.